Imagine waking up tomorrow morning, making coffee, checking your phone, and seeing another dividend payment land in your account. No alarm clock forcing you out of bed, no stressful commute, no boss waiting for your next report. Just money quietly arriving because your investments are working while you sleep. It sounds like a dream, but for millions of investors, dividend income is a carefully planned reality. The biggest question is simple. How much do you actually need invested to live entirely off dividends? Meet Daniel, a regular office worker who spent years believing financial freedom belonged only to millionaires. Every payday he wondered if there was another way. Bills kept coming, inflation kept rising, and retirement felt impossibly far away. One evening he discovered dividend investing and became fascinated. Companies could actually pay shareholders simply for owning stock. It felt almost unbelievable. Daniel started researching everything he could find. He learned that dividend investing wasn't about chasing the highest yields. Instead, successful investors focused on reliable businesses with long histories of paying and increasing dividends. The goal wasn't getting rich overnight. It was creating a growing stream of passive income that could eventually replace a paycheck. Then Daniel reached the most important calculation. First, he estimated how much money he wanted every year. His target lifestyle required $60,000 annually. Next, he looked at the average dividend yield of a diversified portfolio. Using a realistic 4% yield, he divided $60,000 by 0.04. The answer surprised him. He needed approximately $1.5 million invested to generate $60,000 in annual dividend income before taxes. At first, the number felt overwhelming. $1.5 million sounded impossible for someone earning an average salary. But then Daniel looked deeper. He realized nobody builds wealth overnight. Investors reach these milestones through consistent investing, dividend reinvestment, and the incredible power of compound growth over decades. Instead of feeling discouraged, Daniel created a plan. He automated monthly investments into quality dividend stocks and exchange traded funds. Every dividend payment was automatically reinvested to buy additional shares. Each quarter, his portfolio generated slightly more income than before. The progress seemed slow in the beginning, but every payment reminded him that his money was gradually producing more money. Years passed, and Daniel noticed something remarkable. His dividend income no longer felt like random pocket change. It began covering groceries, then utility bills, and eventually several months of living expenses each year. The journey wasn't built on luck or risky trading. It was built on patience, discipline, and understanding one simple formula that transformed his financial future forever. Daniel's confidence grew with every passing year. But he knew reaching financial freedom required more than simply buying random dividend stocks. Every successful investor followed a system. He decided to treat investing like building a house. A strong foundation came first, followed by steady progress, not shortcuts. That mindset changed everything. He diversified his portfolio across sectors like healthcare, consumer goods, utilities, energy, banking, and technology. If one industry struggled, others could continue paying dividends. He also invested in Dividend, exchange-traded funds to reduce risk while gaining exposure to dozens of reliable companies. Instead of worrying about daily stock prices, Daniel focused on one number that truly mattered: his annual dividend income. Each January, Daniel reviewed his financial goals. Rather than asking, "How much is my portfolio worth today?" he asked, "How much income will my investments generate this year?" That simple shift kept him motivated during market crashes. Falling stock prices no longer frightened him, because lower prices allowed him to buy more shares with every monthly investment. Then came an unexpected recession. News headlines predicted disaster. Many investors panicked and sold everything. Daniel felt nervous too, but he remembered his long-term plan. The strongest dividend companies continued rewarding shareholders despite market volatility. Instead of selling, he invested even more while quality stocks traded at discounted prices. Years later, that decision became one of the smartest financial moves of his life. As markets recovered, both his portfolio value and dividend income reached new highs. His growing cash flow started paying for vacations, home repairs, insurance, and eventually every monthly bill. His salary became optional rather than necessary. Daniel also understood that taxes mattered. Depending on where someone lives, dividend income may be taxed differently. Smart investors learn about tax-efficient accounts, dividend tax rates, and retirement strategies to maximize passive income. Building wealth is not only about earning more. It is also about keeping more of what you earn. Eventually, Daniel reached his original goal. His portfolio generated enough annual dividends to cover his desired lifestyle. He didn't become financially free because of a lucky investment or a secret stock tip. He achieved it through consistency, patience, diversification, dividend reinvestment, and decades of disciplined investing. The lesson is surprisingly simple. If you know your yearly expenses and estimate a realistic dividend yield, you can calculate your own financial freedom number today. Whether your goal is $30,000, $60,000, or $100,000 in annual passive income, the formula remains the same. The sooner you begin investing, the more time compound growth has to work in your favor. So ask yourself one question before closing this video. If your future depends on the investments you make today, what is stopping you from taking the very first step? Your journey toward living entirely off dividends could begin with the very next dollar you invest today.